Hello everyone, Storm 101 here. Today we'll be tracking a major and also a major ice storm to be going across. Right now it's down around across the Arlington region, even including the Mid-Atlantic and the Lower Ohio Valley and also the Tennessee Valley. So we're going to get started with the watch warning map here. And as you can see here, areas to pick these are winter storm warnings, which includes really the southern and eastern part of Arkansas, northern Louisiana, eastern Texas. Got one county in southeastern Oklahoma, central and northern Mississippi, northwestern Alabama, most of Tennessee. Uh, you got the southern half of Kentucky, most of West Virginia, nearly all of Virginia. You got winter storm warnings even for central and western parts of North Carolina, most of Maryland, southeastern Pennsylvania, and also the western half of New Jersey there as well. And for some of these areas, it's mainly for ice storm accumulations here for some of these places in here. But some of these other places, it's mainly for snow, which we'll be talking about that in this video. So let's go ahead and get started with the Hermal. Right now, it's pretty much on track of what's going on right now. And you can see here, just off the screen here, we got let me back that up real quick. So back here you got a pretty good stripe of some at times moderate to at times heavy snow here across really from Kentucky back down to central western Tennessee. For some of these places here, it's virga. So you got snow coming out from the clouds, but the air at the surface is pretty dry, so it evaporates on its way down. So for some of these places right now, it's actually not snowing. But for some of these other areas like a good chunk of Kentucky right now, it's actually snowing. The air at the surface has a little bit more moisture, so snow is able to fall down to the ground. So this is eventually getting into pretty much about midnight on Thursday, or very early Thursday morning. You can see here, I got a decent stripe of snow. Some of that's probably going to be virga. You got a band of heavy snow across central Tennessee and even for portions of eastern Tennessee as well. And you can tell there with that band of heavy snow going into eastern Kentucky, venturing into a good chunk of West Virginia. And then as we continue on here, so now this is getting to Thursday afternoon. Here's your low coming up here. There's going to be an upper level low here, bringing some more snow back across the lower Ohio Valley. And you can see here, northern Virginia, eastern West Virginia, most of Maryland, southern Pennsylvania, into portions of New Jersey. You're experiencing moderate to heavy snowfall. Meanwhile, across central and southern Virginia and northern North Carolina, you guys are experiencing some ice issues. Hopefully, this is going to be all sleet. If it's going to be all sleet, I think you guys will be pretty good. I mean, the roads will still be slick. Sleet, it's a pain in the butt to, clear roads, your driveway, but it's better than freezing rain. If this is all going to be freezing rain, you could be seeing some very significant ice accumulations that could cause some major problems out there. And as we kind of move on into Thursday evening, New York City getting on the action, even around Philadelphia, getting on the action of some moderate to heavy snow. It's leaving Washington, D.C. and Baltimore. If you go back here across central Kentucky to Ohio, southern Indiana, you guys are experiencing some light snow. Not going to be virga. I mean, with that upper level low, it's going to squeeze any moisture that's up in the atmosphere and come back down to the surface. So you guys will be seeing off and on snow showers. Could be moderate at times across those regions there. And as we get into Thursday night, there goes the upper level low passing up into the northeastern United States. So this is the HERS thinking on the snowfall totals. I think it's a little bit accurate here, but some places it may be a little bit overdone. But you can see here across most of Kentucky, generally speaking, 2 to 5 inches of snow. Which is interesting there, to say the least. And then you got Central Tennessee, Western Tennessee, got some places picking up 3 to 5 inches of snow. As we move on into Northern Virginia, Eastern West Virginia, venturing into Western Maryland, Southeastern Pennsylvania, Northern New Jersey, and Southern New York State, even for portions of Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island. Some of these places picking up 5 to maybe 8 inches of snow, and then there's these higher elevations to be able to see some isolated higher totals. So you can see you're spitting out some snowfall totals as high as 11 inches. Same with some other models. Now, this is a rapid refresh. Does not go for the entire bit, although I think this is a little bit accurate here. It's been a little bit more consistent here. But you can see here, got pretty much central and eastern Kentucky and central Tennessee experiencing a pretty widespread 4 to 5, maybe isolated 6 inches of snow across portions of Kentucky and Tennessee. Eventually getting into West Virginia. And then when you get into those higher elevations, then you start to see some snowfall totals as high as 10 maybe 11 inches. And that kind of expands into southern Pennsylvania. Now, this does not go for your entire event, so let's kind of backtrack to the 21Z run and see what it shows. And this is going to take a moment to load here. It's actually a little bit different. Now, this is just overdone here with some of these snowfall totals. It's actually way too widespread across Pennsylvania. Not really an accurate run, in my opinion, there. But so we move it to the NAM. These are brand new runs the time I'm making this video. And you can see here, not much snow. Seems like the NAM all decides to break down some of the snowfall totals across Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. Whereas they're showing some spots picking up to 6 inches, but it seems like it's backed off there. That's definitely a kind of a change about 24 hours out. Kind of ridiculous in my opinion, but that's the way the models have been for the past couple of weeks, unfortunately. Most of Pennsylvania, uh, eastern West Virginia, northern Virginia, uh, northern and western Maryland, into central and northern New Jersey. So in some spots, 5 to maybe 8 inches of snow across those areas as well. Showing lower amounts back into Kentucky, but some of these places it's going to be underdone. These models are just kind of been all over the place with these snowfall totals. And here's the high-res NAM, and this is the furthest north than what the other model is showing. I think this is way too far north, in my opinion here. You can see here southeastern Kentucky, 3 to 5, back down to central Tennessee. You got a couple other streaks, 3 to 5 inches of snow, Ohio. I don't think that's not going to happen. I think the better opportunity is going to be southeastern Ohio, closer to West Virginia. I think that's the better shot. I don't think it's going to be north and west central uh, Ohio. That's way too high. I think it guys will be generally be 1 to 3 inches in those places. And as we move on to Massachusetts, it's basically the same way. Definitely backed off some of the snowfall totals, although it does still show some of those higher elevations getting up to 5, 6 inches of snow. Then you got higher elevations in southern New York, back into central southern Pennsylvania, and some of the higher elevations across Maryland and West Virginia there as well. We'll quickly take a look to my snowfall forecast. This is a little bit outdated. This was made back a little bit earlier this evening with the 18Z model runs. I've noticed some changes than what the models had before. Back onto 18Z. I think for some of these other places, like back at here, I think mostly it's going to stay the same. I'm considering making some changes across some of these areas in here. Maybe I actually think that's about good for what it looks. I think I will make some changes down here. Maybe downgrade this 3 to 5 inches of snow just down to 1 to 3. I think that will make a little bit better sense there. But this is the current forecast as of right now. 5 to 8 inches of snow. I think mostly it's for higher elevations. For the mountains of northeast and west Virginia to western Maryland into central and northeastern Pennsylvania to southern New York, and even including western Connecticut. It seems like some also backed off. I mean, it seems like the hardest NAM didn't. The NAM has. Seems like the rapid refresh with at least 21C, it's a little bit overdone. Actually, the Hearst shows that as well. So actually, I may actually keep that the same. Could I expand it eastward? Maybe. We'll just go have to see about that. But this is just the current forecast here. I think whenever I make the next update, I will not include Ohio, Kentucky, or Tennessee. It'll probably mainly be for West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and New York as well. If I can make that X, there we go. And that's probably what we're looking at as right now. And by the way, in some of these places in the 35-inch zone, which includes central western Tennessee into southern, central, and eastern Kentucky, into a good chunk of Pennsylvania, Northern Virginia, most of West Virginia, into Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and most of New Jersey. There will be some spots that may be able to get over 5 inches. Some of those places may have a better opportunity. Southeastern Kentucky, maybe even including a few counties into Tennessee, maybe in the higher elevations of Pennsylvania, and maybe some of the higher elevations in Connecticut and Massachusetts. That's just very difficult to do, to be, really pinpoint those mountains and mountainous regions. I cannot do that. But some of these places here may able to have a chance to see over 5 inches. Similar situation up in New York State. Those higher elevations probably will see over 3 inches of snow. And again, I just cannot do that. That's just pretty difficult to do. Then you got a couple areas here in northern New York State and also northwestern Ohio, coating to 1 inch, basically across those regions there as well. So that's my current snowfall forecast. I may update this one more time. Um, if you guys want to get the update on the snowfall forecast, you guys can follow me on Twitter. I have the link in the description down below, and you guys can follow me there. And let's talk about this ice. And this is not going to be good for central southern of Virginia. You got some places that actually be able to get a half an inch to 3/4 of an inch of ice here. I've seen some of the latest National Resource forecasts. They actually got some areas picking up to 3/4 of an inch of ice, which is significant amount of ice here. Now, that's what the winter storm warnings are for, but I think it's a lot more suitable if these were ice storm warnings. Now, I don't know if these National Resource offices can issue ice storm warnings. I don't think all National Resource offices cannot issue certain warnings and stuff like that, so I don't know. But I think it's a lot more suitable if they issued ice storm warnings instead of winter storm warnings. I mean, it's still considered a winter storm, but it's mostly just going to be an ice storm. That's just my opinion here. Some ice accumulations could be possible back into Kentucky, central Tennessee, northwestern Alabama, to Mississippi. And I know places back into, especially northern Louisiana, got hit pretty hard by the ice. Hopefully things will be going all right down there with the ice situation, which I believe this is their second ice storm here. Good news for eastern Kentucky into portions of West Virginia. This is not looking to be a major ice storm, which we don't need any ice storms. We had two significant ones in some of these places here, and we got widespread power outages into eastern Kentucky and portions of West Virginia. Even across portions of North Carolina and Virginia, it's got significant power outages from an ice storm. I think it's now earlier this week or last week, I should say. It's actually last week, I believe they got an ice storm. So this is not good news. Hopefully this becomes this all sleek that will kill some of your ice totals across these regions here. So hopefully that will be the case. And you've seen the HER model with it does show some sleet mixing in, which is the areas in the which is the purple colors. The freezing rain is these red colors or hot pink, whatever you want to call it there as well. So if anybody that lives in North Carolina, well, portions of North Carolina into central southern Virginia, just be prepared for power outages. Have a generator ready. Uh, be sure to place it somewhere properly. Here in Kentucky, we had a fatality because someone put a generator in the garage. Never do that. Uh, Carbon monoxide poisoning there. That's what it was that killed him, unfortunately. So place it at least 20 feet away from windows. Put it outside. Do not put it indoors or anything like that. Don't even leave your car running. It's basically like a car exhaust, basically from generators. So Do not do that. Fortunately, we had a fatality in Kentucky earlier today about that. So there is going to be some severe weather with this system here. So we're going to quickly talk about this. We got a slight risk for severe weather for far southern Alabama. This is actually crazy. You get chance of severe weather across southern Alabama, southern Mississippi. Meanwhile, on the opposite side of the state, across northwestern Alabama and northern Mississippi, you're getting ice and snow. Quite a crazy change there, to say the least, there with two different types of weather. But anyways, you got slight risk pretty much along the Florida Panhandle coast, which includes places like Mobile, Pensacola, Gulfport, and Panama City as well. Primary threats, there could be some isolated tornadoes out there, damaging winds. That's going to be one of the primary threats, and there could be some hail within those storms as well. Let's take a look on radar really quick. You can see here with all the snow going on across Kentucky there, which looks like I'm experiencing quite a bit of snow right now. So let's try to get to some of these sites here, and by the looks of it right now, we do have a line of pretty good thunderstorms here. It doesn't look to be all that. Looks to be some strong thunderstorms in general, but these here will be moving a little bit more to the northeast by the looks of those tracks there. And these here are capable to produce some strong winds, and there's a lot of stuff going on with the velocity there, but that's just going to be hard to tell. But just be weather aware across those regions down there for the rest of the night. Just be weather aware about that. And the severe weather threat does continue into tomorrow. For some of the similar regions that had significant tornadoes, a couple days ago, we had a significant tornado in southern Georgia, which that was an EF2. And then nearby Wilmington, at least pretty much northwest of Wilmington, there was an EF3 tornado. Unfortunately, we had a couple of fatalities with that storm, which you guys probably heard of that on the news. But the panhandle of Florida, which includes places like Tallahassee, Dothan, Alabama, Savannah, Georgia. There is another tornado threat again for some of the same areas. Damage winds is also there. Hail threat, maybe some small hail with some of those storms as well. So just be weather aware across these regions down here tomorrow. And, just be weather aware and just be prepared. Take shelter if you get under a tornado warning. Just be prepared tomorrow across some of these regions. But anyways, guys, that's all for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like this video, hit the like button. If you really like my channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell notifications so you never miss an upload. If you guys have questions about this, you can put a comment section down below. I'll answer you guys' questions. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.